Hey everyone, it's Ro with Ro's Wigglers. Just wanted to do a quick video to give you a little overview of my ready-to-go worm bins that I have for sale. So, I know that for a lot of people who start to get interested in trying out having their own worm bin so that they can do vermicomposting, so that they can feed their own plants at home and keep their fruit and veggie scraps out of the landfill, they may start Googling about how to set up their own worm bin and get a little overwhelmed at the process of getting the bedding set up and situated and all that, and how to get the worms and everything that goes along with that process. Plus, a lot of the systems that you can buy online are usually anywhere between $80 and $280. I try to do this in a way that makes it a little more accessible. So these are my ready-to-go worm bins. They're fully set up. They've got the worms, they've got the biology, they've got the bedding fully cranking, doing its thing with all that microbial life that we want to get things to break down. And so this is kind of what that looks like. So this is my worm bin. You can see here on the top, it has a sticker. I probably can't get it into focus enough, but these are quick at-a-glance instructions for how to take care of your worm bin. So you always have that simple reminder right on top. And then this little piece on top is just a piece of plastic, but I call it my worm blanket. And what this does is it keeps the light out and the moisture in, which is what the worms like. So I'm going to pull this off of here and show you what we've got going on inside. This is what you can expect if you get a worm bin from me. See all that happy, partially broken down material. We've got some shredded cardboard in here, some probably coconut core, a lot of things happening. Here's a little wormy, and it's full of the worms. They're gonna hide from the light, so let me see if I can get, they're kind of like distributed all throughout here, but we've got a good, several hundred worms in this bin doing their job. Here's one. Hard to get on camera. A few more. But they're in here living their best life. They are breaking down all of my fruit and veggie scraps until they make their way to you. And so basically all you do to maintain this is make sure you keep the moisture level at a damp wrung out sponge. When you feed, we're going to start with about 1 cup of frozen fruit and veggie scraps per week. And pay attention to that and check on it once a week to see how they do. So all I would do is I would just make a little pocket right here. I would put my 1 cup of food scraps in this little hole. Then I would take, I don't have any food scraps in front of me right now, but then I would take some blended up eggshell, sprinkle that right on top of the food scraps, pretend there's food scraps there, and then I just cover it up and wait a week and check again. That's how easy it is. And over time, all of this will start to break down and look like rich, almost black. It'll look kind of like soil, but that's your worm castings. That's what you're going for. So another thing that you can do, you may have seen these be stackable systems online where you have the different trays. I also sell add-on bins with holes so that you can turn your system into a stackable system. So basically, when this bin starts to get full and look more broken down with less recognizable pieces, maybe you start to not be able to recognize any shredded up cardboard or paper or whatever you threw in there. This was an experiment I did with one of those compostable cups. It's taking a long time, but they are finally breaking it down. So when this bin gets pretty full and mostly broken down, you can use one of these add-on bins if you like. I sell these for $15. And, whoops, you take the plastic off of the surface like we have here. Just put your new bin right on top. And see, it's got the holes in the bottom. And then you're going to put your new bedding right in this bin. Your shredded up cardboard, maybe some peat moss if you have it, maybe some shredded up leaves, torn up egg cartons, whatever you're using for your bedding material. Start only putting it in this top bin, and then continue on your feeding journey like you were before. only putting your food scripts in this top bin. After about a month to a month and a half, the worms that are in your bottom tray here are going to finish off all of these scraps, and then they're going to crawl up through the holes to get to the new food in this bin. And what that's going to leave you is essentially a whole bin full of worm castings that you can then take and put in your garden or use to feed your house plants. You might have a few worms left in here. They don't all participate the way we would like, but that makes separating the worms from the castings a much easier process. And so once they've gone up through these holes, if you choose to do it this way, I even have instructions on the front for different ways that you can use your worm castings. So that's my ready to go worm bin. I hope this has built a little bit of interest. I sell these locally in St. Louis for pickup because I did some experiments with shipping and it was astronomical. So unfortunately I cannot ship you a worm bin, but I can sell it locally for pickup. And or we can coordinate for delivery if that's something of interest to you. Anyway, until next time, remember, healthy soil, healthy plants, happy worms.